Great intro. Oh my gosh.
Hey, so we're backstage. We're just talking about stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, we're late.
Oh man. Are we new at this?
Yeah. This is our first show, Alan.
Not a clue. Richard's in there already going, what the heck?
There people are going, where are
Oh
these people?
My gosh.
Where are these people today? So anyway, welcome to the Q&A show with Alan and Marshall. I'm Marshall Atkinson.
I'm Alan Howe with Easy Way, and this is our first show. Thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, and we've got a little egg on our face this morning.
Oh man.
We're just sitting backstage talking, drinking our coffee, having a good time, and forgot to hit the start button.
I'm kind of done after this, so my fourth weekend starts after this, so I'm like, all right. But oh man, we are so sorry, everybody.
It's okay. So if you are watching, thank you so much. I know that you have a lot to do today, hopefully, and we really appreciate you watching live. We also appreciate if you watch as a recording, because I know a lot of people do that.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. But we would really love it if you would just sign in and say hi. Where are you watching from? And then also, hey, you got big plans for the 4th of July. Let's find out what's going on, right?
Yep.
But anyway, so thanks so much. If you are watching, if you could do us a huge favor and share that you're watching, that you're watching the two knuckleheads that are late. That would be awesome.
Unreal. We need supervision. We are unable to act on our own.
Yeah. So we got some folks watching. So Richard's watching, and he reminds us to press record.
Thank you. Yeah.
And Mario's here. Hey, Mario.
All right, Mario. How you doing?
Good to see you, buddy.
Always good to have international in here. Mario, thank you so much for watching this faithfully. And
Hurley's watching from by the way, Hurley is just really kicking ass with his silicone prints that I'm seeing on Facebook. Keep up the good work. And I know that Dan Solomon is watching you.
Absolutely.
So good job with that.
Chris, too, we might have to talk in the future. I might be making a trip to Canada. So, we'll expand on that later.
Frank's here from SNS. Hey, Frank.
How you doing? Yeah.
Good to see you. Hey, I'm very excited to see you this month in Chicago. So can't wait to see you, bud.
TShirtLab, man. I am too. I'm all signed up. I got the hotel and everything. And it'll be a good time.
Yeah, right. And Ghost is here. Hey, happy birthday, Ghosta. I appreciate you. I saw, I guess that was your wife that posted a thing the other day, and love seeing that. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ghost. Yeah.
And Chris says you're going to go fishing.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. If I can do it while working, and fine. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I visited them, but you didn't have to say where. Exactly. Right? I went to the shop, or we were on a boat. What's the difference? You're still talking, right?
We're still exactly. That's it.
All right. Well, cool. So it's been a crazy week for me. Lots of just really awesome things going on, and I know you were where? You were in Chicago, right?
In Chicago area. And it was a week that got flipped upside down, and that happens. And we're going to talk about stuff like that a little bit coming up. But I had a big trial at a huge graphic company, and then all of a sudden they send me a picture the day I'm leaving, and there was just chemical pouring out of a pump of their machine.
Ooh.
It's not my chemical and stuff, but we were going to do a trial. Well, that pump has to be replaced and everything. So
that's the perfect time to do a trial after all the chemical from before is
they were getting ready to clean the machine out because the next day I was there. But I'm bummed, so I'm like, okay, now I'm still going. There was stuff to do, but I came home Wednesday night. So it's been a little different, but visited with distributors, saw clients, and it was good.
Awesome. Hey, so fishing, we saw that. thanks for the birthday. Appreciate you. Hurley says lake meeting.
Lake meetings are the best.
And then Sean says, hi, Alan and Marshall. Happy Friday and welcome back.
Thank you, Sean. Thank you again for filling in. As always, we're going to forget the Alan poster on there. You can burn that.
He still has it, but that's coming back.
Thank you. Good.
All right. Hey,
and Sean, hopefully, I know Richard and I were talking. You had a thing on ShirtLab Tribe, and I know Richard got a hold of you. So hopefully that works out.
Right.
Glad we can help out on that.
Great. And Ray's here. Good morning, Ray.
Morning, Ray.
All right. So what do you say we pay some bills and then let's get into it. So
let's do it.
So let's have a word from our sponsor, GSG, who we really appreciate. So
they're incredible. Yeah.
So here we go.
Dun, 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 dun.
I love that song.
I do too.
You know, when are we getting their new video? We need to talk to them.
We haven't asked. Yeah, they said that we need to ask them. So
I think they have a new video. We just haven't gotten.
We've heard they do, but yeah, we need to get that. So.
All righty. So what's our first topic there, Mr. Howe?
I don't remember. I didn't write it down.
It's we're halfway.
Halfway, exactly.
So we're halfway to what? We're halfway to the end of the year. We're halfway to our goals.
We're halfway through the show before we turn it on live.
You know, before we started, Alan and I, about once or twice a month, we talk about our personal goals and where we are.
Yeah.
And just kind of a personal accountability thing, I think. And you were sharing with me, you're about halfway, right? And
I am exactly at 50.1 of my sales goals. You know, there were some setbacks we didn't expect with those, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, and I'm at 56.46 to mine, right? And so I think it's really important to have goals.
Yep.
And I have mine broken out by quarters.
Yep.
And by months. And then what I do is when I'm making my goal is I don't have the same, of course, I'm talking about sales, right? Mm-hmm. I don't have the same goal for every month because I know that some months are going to be, they're going to be more productive than others or whatever, right?
Yep.
And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to constantly stretch, constantly get better. Mm-hmm. And so how I did my goals, and I set my goals back in December for this year, was I did an average of the 3 previous years, and then I tried to put 20% on the top of that, and then I looked at each month, and I was like, okay, so what's happening? There's a show, there's a thing, what's going on? And then I set my goals based on those things. It wasn't like perfectly 20%, but that's kind of where I started, and I worked it in, and I set a yearly goal for myself, which is, it's a big goal. It'll be fantastic if I hit it. And right now I'm over halfway, which is super encouraging. And so it's like one of these things where I'm constantly focused on that. That's my top line goal. By the way, I've increased my bottom line profit by over 6%, my net profit by over 6% by focusing on some different things that I'm doing this year. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at both my bottom line goal and my top line goal. And that's like how I'm working my business. And of course, I also coach people on this stuff too. So, but it's like one of these things where I think having goals, whether it's a financial goal or an activity goal, like I want to do these things, and that could be planning or, I'm in the middle of writing some books, that type of stuff. I'm working toward my goals. This is how you get things done.
Yep.
right? And I think I think everybody here has some goals, but so the discussion here for today with everybody watching is we're halfway through the year. Where are you to your personal goals? Whether it's a financial goal or it's an activity-based goal, like you wanted to learn something or try something or take a vacation, whatever it was, what were your goals and where are you on that? We would love it if you would share and chime in what you're doing and what your results are.
So Marshall, I think it's important too. So like for me, my goals are always like for corporate are always sales numbers goals. And in sales, you have to have those. When I was younger, I hated doing them. I do see the value in them as I've matured and everything. And I don't fear them like I did. When you're younger, you fear stuff like that. And it's an accountability thing and it's just a learning thing. So mine are different. I have to look at them. So there's a dashboard we have and I can look at my goals. I'm looking at them right now of where we're at. And like I said, I know I'm 50.1% of my budget. But the nice thing, I can look last year, I'm over 300,000 up from last year. But last year, I was only at 38.1% of my budget. Ooh. And so to me, that's growth. That's where
something has changed for you, Alan, to hit, another, what is that? 12%. What is that?
Yeah. Well, I think part of it, it comes down to, I haven't looked to see exactly what it is. Easy Way is a very dealer centric company. We like to sell through dealers. We have a few direct accounts, but they're not so direct that we couldn't have a dealer if they went in there and got the business. Doing that. And so there are some dealers in my area, some from me working with, some from the corporate client that have changed and are really stepping up. I told Marshall too, one of mine on my goals when we made this is if everything is equal and everything. Well, there's right after that, something catastrophe is not going to happen the way it is. So I'm still halfway. I'm pretty sticking good. So a lot of it was some dealers. Some I've had some dealers step up. Some are some accounts that we targeted that we started getting business from. And so, there's quite a few things happening from there. But there's also some things going, will I hit my goal? I don't know. The company and I have talked. I might, but they also know the barrier that so far we've overcome. So we don't know. So these are not, like I said, these goals are not. They're not there to hurt you. They're indicators of where we're at and what's going on. And stuff.
And I think it's important that if you work for someone and it's a mutual goal that everybody agrees on, and then they're supporting you in your effort to hit the goal. Right. And so I think sometimes, companies, I'm not saying easy way, but sometimes companies, I think, they don't want to spend the money. They don't want to do the thing. They don't want to allow you to go see the whatever, because they're scaling back travel budget or whatever. Right. And so it's harder to hit the goal if you're not doing what you think you need to do. And you have to justify that expense. And there's a result that happens from it. So, for example, if I spend $5, I get $25 back. Let's spend the $5, right? And so, but if you're spending $5 and you're only getting $6 back, maybe there might be, hey, let's look at what's going on. Maybe there's a different way of doing it, right?
And we have to look at that because, as everybody knows, everything's going up, not just pricing, not just materials and stuff. So for someone like me that I travel almost every week, gas is more, hotels are more, food's more, and all that, and those are expenses. And so I've had to look at where am I traveling, how long, what is it for? I love seeing every shop, whether it's a one color manual to a 20 automatic shop. I like going into all of them. And I'm still one of those guys, if I have time in between appointments, I'll stop at a small shop. It's really not what I'm paid to do. I work with dealers on that, but if I'm on dealer calls, we better hit a bunch of them. Because I've got to justify that expense. And we're really having to drill down onto what I'm doing and where I'm going to and why.
And just think if your competition is scaling back and you're not, and you're there and they're not there, right? Who looks better in the eyes of the customer? Right?
Oh, absolutely. And now for our dealers and suppliers, anybody can carry a product. what are they doing with it? So we have to look, I have to look and go, why do I work with one dealer over the other? Well, one, if their salesman will work with me. There's one who is like, we're a secondary product, but I have a couple sales guys that are just killing it. And I'll work with them and help them out all day long, as opposed to somebody else in the area going, well, you don't ask for my, whoops. So we lost Marshall. So I look at it of going, where would I, Marshall's back now. So I just kept going. I said, well, luckily I have control of everything still.
What happened?
Yeah, I don't know. I still have.
Anyway, so
what I was saying is on there, and I told him, so Marshall, remember, I still have control of stuff too when you're gone. So
did you kick me off?
I didn't kick you off. I could.
Hey,
I'm kidding. I did not. But you know what? I have to look at like where I'm going. What am I doing? And so all dealers, I saw Josh Alders popped on there, and Stahls has dealers. Some dealers do better than others. Some work harder. You don't want to work with me? Fine. Stock our product and stuff, that's fine. But I'm going to be going out there. I have to drive new business. And people want to work with me? Let's go.
Right.
We'll work with them all the time.
We got some great comments. So Ghosta says, how do you update your goals now when inflation is and prices running wild? Okay.
Yeah.
Great comment.
Awesome question.
Okay. And to me, you need to review your goals, right?
Yes.
And you could have another set of goals. Like, so we're halfway, right? The reason we're talking about this is I think it's time to assess where we are. And inflation, of course, has made everything go up, right? So what are you doing, for example, to combat inflation? For me, I did an exercise where I took every single expense, and I don't know why I didn't do this before, and I threw everything into a spreadsheet per month, what I'm doing. And I realized that I had, because I like to try things, especially new technology, I was paying monthly on some apps and stuff that I don't use, right? And this was significant. And I took out almost it was a little more than $3,000 a year, what I was paying, monthly with monthly stuff, right? For, it was like 4 apps that I removed, right? I just stopped, canceled the thing, stopped using it. Or I downsized to the free plan because I wasn't frequently using it. Like I use Asana, for example. And, I was paying close to $80 a month for that. Right. And I took the thing down to the free plan because I just wasn't using it. Right. So I think, if you start reviewing what you're doing, yes, your costs have gone up, but what can you take away from the equation that might save you some money? Right. And maybe that gets you closer to like a zero effect. The other thing that you should be thinking about is that what you're charging people, right, should be going up based on the inflation rate. So you should know what's going on. So when you see your costs increase, are you bumping up with people? Right now, I have agreements with a whole bunch of folks, and I've already started talking about, hey, and because my things were for the year, right? So in January, there's going to be a price increase, right? So I've been talking about that a little bit. And so it's just, I can't do it right now because I've got agreements in place, but the price of poker's gone up a little bit. And so that's what's happening. All new people, they might be paying more, right? So, so it's like one of these things where you just have to be looking at that and understand that, how are you adapting that? What can you do, right? And in our marketplace, everything is going up. And I think customers understand that. And I've been talking with lots of business owners, and a lot of folks tell me that they're doing price increases, and there isn't a whole lot of pushback.
Yeah, there's not.
And so you just do it, right? And that's going to help you. And here's what you want to look at. Your top line goal naturally will be more. Okay? Because you're charging more, right? It's your bottom line that what you should be looking at, right?
Agreed.
And so what is that? What are the goals that you're trying to set for yourself? So right now we're halfway, and let's just say you did a 10% increase. I'm just using that as conversation. Not that's what you should do. Yours might be different. So if you did a 10% increase, here's what your new goal is. But what does that mean for your bottom line? Is you're going to hit the same profit margin that you want? Or is it going to, if you did some cost savings, maybe that could increase as well, right? But at least you want to be the same. You don't want to go under.
To me, Marshall, goals are like your business plan. What shape are they? You know what? It's the shape of water. What is the current holding pattern of it? What's the current container? Water right now. So like the water bottle, the shape of the water is a cylinder. If I put it into a cereal bowl, it's round. If I put it into something else or put it just on the table, it's a different shape. It moves. So what's the climate of what your goals are at? My goals were set in January. I also know we had a price increase. So my top line numbers are going to be easier to hit. But I have to know in my mind going, okay, if it was a 10%, 5%, whatever, those goals have to shift to meet that.
Well, you can also increase your goal, right? So
absolutely,
if we're 50% to the top line goal, right? And we've had a price increase, right?
Yep.
Maybe your goal for what's ever left should be 10% more, and that way you're hitting the same number.
That's what I just said. So we have to. So last year, I was going to hit my goal, but I also knew I needed to do about 10 to 12% over, because of all the price increases. So you have to be fluid on it. You have to be moving, and your goals are almost like the shape of water. They're fluid.
Yeah.
For whatever vessel it's holding. As the vessel in the changes, then that changes.
Yeah. So Hurley's goals were high density printing and getting into silicone ink. I'm well on my way.
Yes, you are.
Facebook post. Congratulations.
Yep.
Josh Ellsworth with Stalls is here, and he says, we just started our new financial year today, and happy to say that each of our sales reps exceeded their territory goals for the last 12 months. That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Some missed the leading indicator KPIs, but these are more aggressive to ensure we make the revenue number.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thanks for sharing, Josh.
That's awesome, Josh.
Mark says Alan is scaling back the show. Thanks.
We always are. We scaled it back by 3 minutes today. Just,
And Ray says, I'm actually cleaning up my apps today. Also get rid of subscription apps. If you can own the product code, I am acquiring new equipment to diversify capabilities right now. That's awesome.
Perfect. Yeah.
Those are great examples.
And I put personal goals, Marshall. You and I have, I have a section of my whiteboard from personal goals. I'm about ready to change those. No, podcast is not one of them. That's top line on it yet. But, some other things it's just not happening right now because I have other goals that are more important right now.
Yeah,
it's not happening. So had to just say, what's up with that? Couldn't let it lie.
Well, you brought it up. I didn't bring it up.
I know, because there's more important things on there. So, those are things that get changed. Goals are changed. Business plans are changed. They're always changing.
Yeah.
So
good. Hey, let's jump into our second topic, which I forgot what it was. Oh, here you go. New eyes. Right?
Yep.
Sometimes you need a new set of eyes. And the reason I want to bring this up is that I had a fantastic conversation with Richard Greaves last night. I am writing a new book, and he got an advanced copy of the text, and he gave me some fantastic criticism on it. And I was talking to Alan this morning about it. And I really love the fact that, somebody else is looking at it and is holding me, a little more accountable to what I'm writing. It's not that what I wrote was wrong. It was how it was structured. It was the structure of how I'm writing it. And he was suggesting some better ways of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a new set of eyes on that is going to make the final product better, because when you're operating in a vacuum, I'm just here in my office doing what I do, right? Having somebody else look at it is really going to help me because they see it from a fresh perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I've been working on this thing for a long time. And, I like it. It looks good to me,
Right.
But they're seeing it differently with their different experiences and how they do things and whatever, and gave me some really great constructive criticism. Now, here's the thing. You have to be open, and this is the key, and willing to hear this, right? And not get defensive. The reason I sent it to him was because I am open, right? But there's so many people out there that would never do that because they don't want to hear what other people think, or they're scared of what they'll think or whatever, right? And they're not open to hear this stuff. So I'm telling you, having a fresh perspective on what you do is an invaluable tool to get better.
Yep, absolutely. And sometimes you have to ask that. Now, Richard is a great one for that. Richard has helped me so much on things like that. And, the big joke with Richard and I is that as someone, when you're looking to people who know more than you, I remember earlier in my career, probably about 10 years ago, Richard called me and he goes, all right, here's the question. Here's what's happening. I'm reaching through the phone and I'm patting you on the hand as a grandfather. But the gist of it meant, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah.
And you've got to be ready and open for that. And I think sometimes we get to the point, like you said, we're in a vacuum. This all looks great, but it's not. So even on my sales numbers, I'm glad I'm with a company that I can go to Alex, to John Schluter, and say, here's it is. This all looks good. And I always follow up with, guys, is there anything else I'm not seeing that you need me to work on? What am I missing?
Yes.
And you have to, the more you ask that question, because I don't like to be blindsided. I don't like walking into a hornet's nest. I don't like being called into an office for a meeting and it just hit me out of the blue.
Yeah.
We've all had that. I'm horrible in those situations.
Yeah.
So I ask, this is what I'm planning. Here's what I'm doing. This is what I'm thinking of. Are you guys okay with that? Yes. Is there anything I'm missing? Anything else you want me to move or direction or anything? Nope, we're fine. Perfect. Let's go.
Yeah. And I think this is the reason why, some shop owners bring me in, to their business, because, they're there slogging through it every day. But when I come, I go like, okay, well, why are you doing it that way? Right.
Yeah.
And I know that you visit businesses all the time, right? And you see stuff that they walk around every day. They're walking around this problem every single day, just like I do, right? And having somebody in there that says, hey, why are you doing it that way? I think really helps you because, you can make those improvements, but you have to be willing to do that, right? That's
right.
the thing.
And I think, that's the value of a Marshall Atkinson, a Ray Greenwood, a Mark Saldonic when they come in as consultants and stuff, because you are looking at you have a set of new eyes there, and new eyes that have seen a lot of stuff already. And you have the value of that. And it might be, I've never thought about that. Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I don't know everything. The amount of stuff that I don't know is just infinite. Right?
Well, what I said, the more I know, the more I realize I don't know.
But I'm willing to learn, and I like to see things, and I love to talk to people, and I love to discover, hey, what's going on with that? Why? Oh, that we do it this way because of this, that, and the other thing. That helps me with every single person down the stream from me because I go, hey, so-and-so did it this way. Here's the results that they got. Right. So I think that's really interesting when that kind of plays into that.
Marshall, I think too, and not to toot our own horn, but one of the things for me is that, you get nominated into the Academy, you think you've achieved something until you sit down with everybody at that dinner and realize am I the stupidest man in this room?
Well, what's the phrase? If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah, it's exactly it. So that's not it in the Academy. I'm like, oh my God, how did I get through the door? So
yeah, there's some imposter syndrome going on there.
Oh gosh, it is that.
So all right, here we are with comments. So William says, in regard to making adjustments for inflation and other changes, I work with Daniel E. Green, a New York portrait artist. During one of his classes, he said that an important skill, in his opinion, is the ability to see where you need to make corrections in your work and having the willingness to make those corrections. I think that this applies not just as an artist, to almost anything you do.
Agreed.
Fantastic comment. And that reminds me of the story I heard about Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
He used to work out all the time, and we all know who he is. This is back when he was just a bodybuilder and not everything else. And so he would work out, and he was super famous for his chest and his arms.
Mm-hmm.
But when he was working out, he would often wear sweatpants.
Because his legs were...
Because his legs, he had toothpick legs, right?
Yeah,
and so his buddy Franco Colombo, who was this short Italian bodybuilder, was teasing him like good friends do, right? And he was challenging him the fact that he was covering up his legs because in the mirror, he wouldn't have to look at them.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was that teasing that made him switch to wearing shorts and then really working on his legs. Right. And that helped him grow and get better. Right. So you need those people in your life that challenge you on some things, that go, hey, dummy, what are you thinking here? Right. So,
Marshall, I remember when I first started speaking, it's one thing, when you hear a recording of yourself speaking, whether it be at ISS, for me, it was some other industries, different things I did, you start self-evaluating pretty hard. Yes. Now, then you start speaking, and then you have someone of, I've had Mr. Greaves come into my class, which that doesn't make me nervous at all. I've had Greg Kitson sit in and stuff. I've had them all in there at the same time. Oh, good.
Yeah.
This is where you put your big boy pants on. And, you actually start looking for that. I actually love it because, like, all right, guys, tell me what I did wrong. I don't want to hear it. No, great job, Alan. I want to hear great job. Okay, tell me what I can do to make it better.
Yeah, how can you make it better? It's good.
Nobody wants to hear their own voice. Nobody likes to see their own picture.
Right. So Sean,
at least I don't.
Sean says, I learned a long time ago in corporate America, if you ask for someone's input, their comments are constructive. If you do not ask and it's offered, it is criticism.
I think, Sean, it's only criticism depending on how well you take it. Because it could be input. It might be you didn't ask for the input, so you don't care because you don't respect that person's opinion. But I think you can learn something from anybody. But yeah, you kind of take it with a grain of salt.
One of the most valuable tools I ever had was a 360 review where the employees that worked for me, I used the same form that they use in their reviews, gave me input on how well I'm managing and leading them. And that is a tough read. Let me tell you.
Yes, it is.
But I've learned so much from that over the years, because you really see how others see you, because you think you're this, and here's the axe chopping the legs out from under you, because this is how it really is, right? And so that's really good to hear. It's really hard to read, but using that information to modify how you're interacting with people and leading is such a valuable tool. I can't overstate it enough.
Oh, absolutely.
Cindy says, good morning. My customers did not get the memo. I watch YouTube in the mornings. That's funny. Yeah. That's okay. Personally, I'd rather you make money than watch our show. So you can always watch the recordings, Cindy.
Exactly.
Ray says, every single shop plan I've ever been to cannot see all their own problems and limitations. The third part, over the shoulder eye, is key. Exactly.
Yep, absolutely.
Another customer. Y'all have a great 4th of July. Thanks, Cindy.
Close the sale, Cindy. Make it happen.
That's right. All right. So
I'd like to throw to everybody else. Who's watching you? Who are the new eyes you have? Who do you go to? Who's that person? Who are those people?
And here's another thing. Another idea here is, do you talk to your customers about what they like and what they don't like? Here's a really brave question. Why do you do business with us?
Yep.
Right? Find that out. And if you talk to, let's say you talk to a dozen people and 4 or 5 of them have the same answer, guess what needs to be on your next marketing post?
Absolutely. Yep.
Right? That's a common theme. Whatever that turns out to be, I bet other people are looking for that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to find out what that answer is. All right. So let's switch up here and let's share something from the GSG Pulse.
Sounds good.
Oh, you know what? I got bumped off, so I got to reshare this. Hold on.
Okay. So, Marshall, while you're getting that, there it is.
All right. So, what are we looking at here, Alan?
So, what we have in the Pulse is one of the things we didn't pick just one, we picked a bunch. We know that whether you're a screen printer, embroidery, heat transfer, whatever, we are apparel decorators. And sometimes, especially in my world, well, I'm a screen printer. Every screen printer has a heat press. And if you're not looking at it, you need to update your equipment and look, you need to look at heat presses. And GSG has a great array of them. They are a master stalls distributor. Right there on the left side, we have the IQ press, which is an incredible hat press. We have, of course, their go-to. They have a package there with heat press and Epson for doing sublimation. Then they have smaller crafting presses. So for whatever budget you need a heat press, GSG is the one to go to. And look, set up a payment plan. Can't beat that, no matter how what size shop it is. But these presses are invaluable. They will make you money every time. Don't skimp on them.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that Hotronics IQ hat press, when that came out a couple of years ago,
Game changer.
I was at the booth, and I could not believe it. And Josh is on here, and he gave me a demo of what it was, and it was the most amazing thing. And perfect segue is that if you go to TShirtLab Chicago, which is you can get your tickets right here at shirtlablive.com. Yep. July the 22nd in Chicago, our networking event, which is Thursday the 21st, Stalls is giving away an IQ hat heat press, the Vision IQ, to the winner of our legendary rock, paper, scissors tournament. And Josh Wiley, I don't know if you're on here, but he won it, and he won that last year in Fort Worth. And I know that what a huge impact that made in his shop.
Yep.
And let me tell you, if you're doing hats, right, it is the absolute perfect thing to do the laser etched patch or embroidered patch with the adhesive on the back. It's so easy. At that event, my son Jack, by the way, who I wanted to come on here this morning, and he refused me, by the way. He was at that event, and as then he was 17, with 2 minutes of instruction by, I think it was Jenna, if I remember right. He was able to decorate a hat, and it came out perfect. And I think it's just a remarkable tool that you can add to your shop and make tons of money with, right? Yep. So come to TShirtLab Chicago, win the rock, paper, scissors tournament, and get one of these things for your shop, or, buy one from GSG.
Absolutely. So,
yep. Anyway, so the perfect thing.
But check out GSG. They should be coming out with a new Pulse for this next quarter, so they don't have it up online yet. But
right,
all your heat press needs.
Right, and so he's got. Josh has a couple comments here.
Yep.
$3,500 profit per shift on the 360 IQ of running two of them, and an average profit per cap. Just buy two from GSG and focus on selling. Perfect.
Absolutely.
And he says it's a 30-second dwell time on dimensional emblems, so very easy to kill downtime by running two machines.
Yep.
Right? And Richard says, Gittimer wrote once, the funnest thing you will ever hear is a recording you make of your sales call.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that funny. It was embarrassing for me to hear it. So.
Oh, by the way, I got the hat right here. This is the one Jack made.
I have one like that. It's in the other room, but I wear it all the time.
By the way, this is an awesome hat. This is the Legacy. I don't know if you can see the tag.
Yep.
Is available at S&S Activewear, I believe. And
I like that hat. Yeah.
I love this hat. And a lot of trucker hats, the mesh part is really stiff.
Yeah, that's
look
flexible.
how flexible this is.
Yep.
It's a really easy wearing hat. And
Yep.
It's like a favorite. And that's why it's in this room. I wear this hat all the time.
I wear it a lot. Mine's over in the living room. I wear mine a lot.
Yeah. And Frank says James from S&S will be back in Chicago to defend his title.
Are you not coming, Frank?
I think Frank's coming. Aren't you coming, Frank? I think you're supposed to be there. I'm not sure. I know James is coming. And by the way, on Thursday morning, if you're in Chicago, we're making a field trip down to the distribution facility at S&S Activewear for a tour of how they pull orders.
I'm in Chicago. I'll be there.
Yeah, so we're all going to jump in. I know I'm got the big SUV that I rented from Hertz, and we might need another extra car. But we're all going to drive down there. It's about 45 minutes from the hotel. And we're going to go down there, do a tour, and then we'll stop at Chili's or something, whatever that's there, and come back. And it's going to be kind of a free thing that we're doing as an activity Thursday morning. So Frank says, I'll be there, but I was the first loser.
I'd rock.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So where are we on our thing here? Oh, yeah. Here you go. Taking time off. So, Alan, you just had a massive vacation.
I did.
Right? And now here we are, 4th of July, right? And I know right after this, I'm pretty much done for the day. And I'm not working on Monday. So I'm really looking forward to some hangout time this weekend. And you're probably doing the same thing, right?
Yeah, I got one thing I have to do after this. And then, I'm done. And because I have to fly out Tuesday morning.
Where are you going?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh.
Client has a M&R Ecotex being installed. We got to do the chemical for it. So
Awesome.
I'll be there a short week, be there a few days, and come back.
Yeah.
You know what? Taking time off is needed. It is necessary, and it's something, Marshall, I don't think you and I, a lot of us don't do enough. Especially, I'm not married. So unless you have a significant other who is saying we need a family vacation or something like that, or you got kids,
right?
Pushing you for it, you don't do it. I would go years without taking it. It would be a vacation where I'm working, I'm not. But when I went to the Philippines, I could work a little bit, not a lot. One, there's a 12-hour time change. Two, it's spotty where I was at and expensive. I couldn't make phone calls and stuff. So I literally had to unplug, and you do not realize how tense you are until you're relaxed.
Oh yeah.
And
my favorite vacation is I take my watch off. I don't look at my phone. There's no computer. I'm at the beach. You're lucky if I'm wearing shoes, it's just like, there's no shaving going on. There's just, all we're doing is practically just eating and drinking and hanging out and laughing.
Everybody else.
That's the best thing. That's what I look forward to.
And when I'm there, I'm not in charge of my own schedule on that. I am with family. And so it was, and long story on the Filipino family I have there. No, they're not my real kids or anything, but people I'm close with. And you know what? They pick me up. This is where we go. And I'm on their schedule. So, what did I do? I did everything and nothing at the same time. Yeah. And it was the best vacation. So you have to take time off on that. You've got to change and do stuff like that. Exactly. Michael Wolverbright. That's the wrong answer.
So if you're watching, what are you doing this weekend? And then also, how do you take vacations?
And for me too, Marshall, I travel all the time. So one of the things I don't like to do is go somewhere. I am
well, I mean, do you go to your cabin and fish at the lake? I mean, that seems like
but you know what? I haven't been there yet this year.
What's up with that?
Because I suck at life and failing at life. And 4th of July weekend, the lake is packed. So it's not really my gig on there. But I do have that where I could go. I will go to Florida, see my parents, and hang out for a long weekend and stuff. And I do stuff. But because when I'm home on the weekends, Marshall asked me, "We got planned?" Nothing.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well,
so
when you're doing nothing, this is the chance to me, like this weekend, we're not going anywhere. I'm going to be in the pool. I'm going to have something on my smoker. You'll see it on Instagram, I'm sure.
Yep.
Right. And that's what I like doing, right? And I like trying things, trying a new rub or trying a new thing, or maybe instead of this temperature at this time, I'll change it up a little bit just to, and that's how you learn. I'm goofing around with that. I'm not like Mark Saldonic level of
smoking where he's
crazy. My brother-in-law Jesse is a champion, by the way, and I get a lot of tips from him. In fact, if you look at my Instagram, he gave me a new rotisserie for my smoker, and I tried 2 chickens the other day with it. I did one with a honey rub and the other with the hot spicy rub, and they were the juiciest. My mouth's watering right now just thinking about it. They were the juiciest chickens that I've ever cooked. In fact, my son was eating. He's like, "Dad, look at my plate. It's like full of juice."
Yeah.
And he couldn't believe it. I'll go, "Yeah, well, I cooked that." It was like crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I have fun doing it. That's the important thing, right? And so I think it's really important. I'll probably, depending on what's on sale, get some ribs or something. But, I've been thinking about a brisket, but we'll see, right? Maybe some burnt ends, maybe some bacon. I've been wanting to do some bacon. I don't know. It'll be a mystery, right? Oh, here's the guy right here.
So what?
I'm off to the 11th, backyard vacation, smoking meats and floating in the pool. Exactly.
Exactly. So you know what vacation does in taking time off? It makes me more productive because I came back and it wasn't until about a day before vacation. I'm starting to get into that going, okay, what am I packing? What am I doing? What I got to do? And I remember just, when I hit the States after customs detained me and that night in the hotel, I'm thinking, what do I have to do when I get back? And you start thinking of this stuff and you start getting excited about it. Now, one of the topics we had, Marshall, and I don't know if it's the next one or if we have another one, was change, because there's going to be some changes now.
That was our first one.
Did we do change?
Did we skip over change?
I think we skipped over that.
Oh, we skipped over it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
This one is last week's, I think, or a couple weeks ago. But yeah. So because now, because life
is set up real quick.
This is not one of our better shows. Because businesses change. Nobody likes change. Human beings are creatures of habits, but change is coming. It always is. And there are things in Eastway. There's probably some change coming. And, I'm talking to my bosses and all that. I'm like, okay, great. Let's go. Let's do it. And I'm excited about it. I don't know if I'd have been that excited about it last month before vacation, but I'm like, all right, let's go.
Change is awesome. And I think you have to be willing to change.
Oh, yeah.
And, I think people get a lot of grief because, something happens and then their friends would go, well, what happened? You changed. It's like, of course I changed. There's new information or there's new things I need to do, or I'm trying to grow as a person. I'm like, I think if you're static, I mean, how boring is that? Right. We as people, we need to embrace change and try things and be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
And embrace the awkwardness that you don't know something and you're going to do it anyway. And it might turn out crappy. And just think about this, at a certain point in my life, I had never written a blog article. I had never taught a class. Mm-hmm. I had never lived in another city. Okay. I've never done a lot of things, but there's always the first time, I've never done a podcast. Hint. I've never written a book. There's a lot of things but I've done all those things now, right? You just have to go through the process and learn and be willing to do it and willing to really suck at it and get better.
Yep.
So I think it's important.
It is. And you know what? Changes there. And someone asked me, they go, when I started writing articles, did that just happen or was that intentional? I go, that was the first real intention that I said, I'm going to take over my career and I'm going to build Alan Howe.
Yeah.
And it was intentional. Now, I got pushed into it, kicking and screaming. James Ortolani and Doug Geiger kicked me into it. And then Mark Buchanan from Printwear Magazine did. But it was intentional. I remember at night, I was at home. I grabbed a legal pad. I grabbed a pen, and I went back to the company I was working at. I sat in the office away from home at my desk there. And it had to be 8 o'clock at night. And I just started writing out an article on there. And to me, Marshall, in the article, well, I'll tell you what it was. It was called That Was Then, This Is Now. Welcome to 2008. It was 2007 when it came out, and it's still one of my favorite articles to read. So it was
there you go.
Printwear Magazine, and it was the first one. And I remember Mark Buchanan telling me, he goes, Alan, people reading and going, I can hear your voice, your humor, and your laughter in there. And that was the best compliment I got.
It's great.
It was intentional change because I had never done that. I was the kid that growing up in Detroit that we're glad he's not in jail. I cannot, my handwriting is atrocious.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So to write something and have it published and be paid for it was unreal.
Right.
So,
it's just another level.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So Ghosta just says, change, is it like pivot? Right.
No, change is adjustment. We don't pivot.
So, all right, where are we on time? We got about 6 minutes.
We did.
So I want to share, you knew this was coming probably, but
yeah,
I want to share TShirtLab Chicago information.
Let's do it.
And here is our website. So go to shirtlablive.com, get your tickets. And I want to just briefly talk about, if you scroll down here, you can see our lineup. It's just phenomenal. And by the way, I've gotten 3 of the 9 presentations sent in. I got Renee's, I got Dawn's, and I did mine. So I know what's coming. And let me tell you, it is going to be so dynamic, right? I'm having lunch with Jay here in about an hour. So
Jay Mistel, are you having tacos?
We are probably having tacos. We're going to a place that has lots of different food. So
cool. Tacos,
I think, are on the menu. But I'm having a lunch with Jay and Charity Gibson. If you know her, she's awesome.
Yep.
And so looking forward to that. And then so his whole thing is on marketing. Rums is about building your brand. You know, Tom's doing a whole thing on creating events.
Yep.
And he is the event master. And events are how you differentiate yourself from your competition.
Yep.
And it's all about doing something new, right? Renee, her presentation is how to close a sale in 10 minutes. She does sales training. This is what she does for a living, right? She makes money training people in sales.
I'll be listening to that one intently.
Yeah. And mine is on NFTs, why you should be paying attention to this and how you can use it in your business.
And if you don't know,
token, by the way. So,
and if you don't know what those are, don't worry, because I wasn't sure until Marshall explained it to me a little bit. So this will be exciting.
Yeah, Matt Marcotte, who works for Printavo and does a bunch of stuff for the industry. His whole thing is how to fight inflation with efficiency. So Ghosta, you should come over and just listen to his. You had a comment on that earlier, right?
Come on over, Ghosta.
Dawn's her presentation is all about website conversion, right? So if you have a website and it's supposed to be making you money, but it's not, she's got a whole presentation, and I've seen it, by the way, of why and how your website should be converting and what you need to do to change it. Mm-hmm. So Kevin, his is all about sales, building a sales team. And of course, Richard, who's watching right now, he's going to do a fantastic job with his foundational forgotten fundamentals. That's what it is. Which is all about, here are the things that you know that you've forgotten.
Yep.
And if there's a presentation that's perfect for this guy, is that, because he's always talking about this stuff. So plus we have a round table. We've got a networking event Thursday night. If you want to upgrade, you can go to the VIP dinner, which is going to be Thursday night. Friday night at this place called the Italian Village. And this is going to be a marathon. These VIP dinners are just phenomenal. It's 3 hours at least of eating and drinking and talking and laughing and sharing stories, and it's just a wonderful event. So
it was, when I was at Fort Worth, the VIP dinner and the networking event were my two favorite parts. I love the speakers and stuff, but they were just incredible because it's all about community. It's all about meeting people. It's all about networking. It was awesome.
And if you've never been to a ShirtLab event, okay, let me tell you, there's a reason why, during the thing, I'll probably have everybody raise your hand if you've been to one of these before, and almost everybody there will be raising their hand, right? Everybody comes back, right? So there'll be people there who've been to 4 or 5 ShirtLab events, right? And it's just because of the quality. Everything we do is intentional. There's no skimping, we're doing things on purpose. There's going to be tons of surprises that I can't tell you about that I've been working on. It's just going to be great. And if you can't go, there's some FOMO there. I totally get it. Stuff costs money. I totally understand. This is an investment. Don't look at it as an expense. Look at it as investing in your business, investing in your networking. We just talked about being in a room where you're not the smartest person in the room. Mm-hmm. This is that event.
Yep.
So anyway, that's kind of my spiel, right?
And you have great sponsors also. GSG is a sponsor. Easy Way is a sponsor. SNS is a sponsor.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me. So hide this thing. Great shout out to everyone. GSG, of course, sponsors this podcast with me and you, but they're also diamond level sponsors for ShirtLab. Yep. And why do they do that, Alan? They do that because they believe in the industry and they want to get and help people succeed, right? SNS Activewear, of course. Frank's going to be there. Thank you so much, SNS and Frank. SNS also sponsors my Success Stories podcast, so a great shout out there. Jerseys is also diamond level, and they were one of our first sponsors. Have been with us the whole way. They also sponsored my Adventures in Apparel Decorating YouTube show, so big shout out to them. I'm actually going to be in Seattle in about 10 days at Artem Ianitsa's shop.
Okay, cool.
Learning all about embossing on fleece. And Artem actually won the rock, paper, scissors contest. Which one was that? I think that was the St. Louis one, if I remember.
Right.
And then we got Rock and Supercolor. Rock is phenomenal. They did a great. They're not only sponsoring a couple of their customers to come, but they're paying for the travel. By the way, Supercolor is a great gold sponsor. And then we have Stalls, Equipment Zone, Chipley, Graphic Source, Seps.io, and of course, Easy Way.
Yep.
Big shout out to all those guys. And then we have Allmade, M&R, Printing United, Buckets of Ink, Cobra Flex, and then Peerless are all bronze level, plus me and Tom's stuff. And then we have our media partners who give us a lot of exposure. Screen Printing Magazine, Images, Impressions, Graphics Pro, and of course the new publication Apparelist. So we couldn't do our event without these awesome folks. So if you do business with them, right, and if you're on the phone with them, please do me a favor and thank them for the support of helping you and the industry excel. We really appreciate it.
And that's why everybody on there sponsors things like that, because they know the value. They know the value of education. If you're not using any of these companies, you need to look into them.
Yeah, great. Cool. All right, man. Well, I think that's it for our Shirt Lab section. And hold on, I got a comment. Jack is dog sitting his brother's dogs.
Always fun.
Right. And it's good meeting you in Atlantic City, Jack, by the way. And then Jack says, have a great break.
We will. Everybody be safe out there. Don't blow your fingers off of fireworks. Be safe. Have a great weekend. Take the time. Do nothing and do everything. Come back and hit it hard Tuesday.
Yeah. And we really appreciate your time watching. And if you have any questions for anything that we've covered, feel free to reach out. We're there for you. So
let others know. One thing I was looking at some of the analytics. We're getting more and more people listening. We forget to mention on just the audio podcast. It's available on Spotify and all of them like that. So feel free to do that. Are we on Apple yet? I forgot to check.
We're on everything.
Are we on Apple now? So yes. Yeah. So
we're on everything. So just look up Q&A with Alan and Marshall, and then you can listen while you work. Right?
Absolutely.
All right. You guys have a great 4th of July. We love you. Go America.
And, yeah, that's right. And you know what? Be on the lookout. We have some good guests coming up too.
We do.
It'll be fun.
All right.
All right. Have a great 4th, everybody.
See you.